Yo, you listen to More About Something Else, and this episode is brought to you by More About Podcasting. Do you want to start a podcast, but you don't know how? Well, you're in luck. More About Podcasting offers a service that will help you bring your podcast to life, from idea to execution, whether you need training, equipment, editing, or everything in between. Go to moreaboutsomethingelse.com for a free consultation. Once again, that's moreaboutsomethingelse.com/podcast consultant.
Yo, you're listening to More About Something Else. My name is Joshua. And on today's episode, we talk about the abortion ban. There's 24, maybe 23 candidates running for office. Lessons that we've learned from our parents. I really like this topic, but here's a clip from the show. Make sure that you understand that if you're at the place where you want to be, how do you keep moving and not be content? Or if you're just starting out, what can you do to possibly keep you on that road? And now that you heard that, let's begin.
First off, I'm going to have to ask you to go and rate this show, maybe even leave a comment. And you could do that on iTunes or SoundCloud, and for Android users, you can now listen via Google Play. Now, this podcast may contain explicit content, just saying, so open your mind, relax, and listen to this dope-ass podcast.
Thought coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest to find more about something else. Hey, food for thought coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest.
If people don't understand that, well, they don't understand nothing.
Truth spilling, leaving victims to my honest ways. I come in peaks like an alien from outer space. Internet pirates riding waves on your webpage. Download shit, click the link, press play. I don't mean to pray, but I pray every week for myself, for my fam, cause we all gotta eat. Protein, no more sweets. Till I'm caked up on the beach in Belize. Food for thought coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest to find more about something else. Wait, food for thought coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest to find more about something else. Wait.
Yo, you're listening to More About Something Else. My name is Joshua. I just want to say thank you to any and everybody that's been rocking with the show. Truly, I appreciate it. Like the show, share it, review it. You can do one, or you can do all three. Either way, I appreciate it. But we are here on this lovely day, and I just want to start off the podcast with this. Imagine bringing something to life. Imagine taking everything that was going on in the times and applying it to your art and whatever you were doing. Imagine bringing that to life. How many stories do you know end really well? And I'm pretty sure when you're trying to think about this, I don't think you'll be able to get 5, right? So I went to go see Avengers, and I've seen it when it came out. It was really good. Even trying to avoid all the trailers and spoilers, really trying to avoid all that. And I don't know, I was doing that because I have high expectations for things that I really care about. Like, I really like superhero stuff. Like, if I can geek out, I'll geek out at any moment. And, I think it's safe to say that I was satisfied with the way it ended. And what I got from it is that there's more to come. Like, this isn't the end. There's more that we can offer. And I'm just talking about it from a longevity standpoint, just putting your all into something. And literally that is all. Like, if you've seen Captain America and Iron Man back in the day, just looking at it from an art perspective, because that's the thing. One of the most beautiful things about people, just in general, is that when they find something that they're so passionate about and they can articulate it and break it down for you down to the T, it's beautiful, right? And to see them bring it to life, that's even more. But that's the thing here, I watched the Avengers. It ended well. And I like where they're going as far as the impossible, venturing off into these different branches of genres of movies. Since we're on the topic of Avengers, I think it's safe to say that Disney has watched what has happened throughout with the streaming services, creating your own content, having a catalog of content, having the hearts of so many people. Disney just acquired Hulu. I think it's big just from the standpoint that they really have the money to back up whatever they want to do. Like, they can go full-fledged into any industry and crush. It's amazing. Look, I say from the standpoint, look at these companies that are buying up everybody else. They bought Fox. They bought MCU. They bought Star Wars. Just to be out there to spread out content as much as possible because they see what's buzzing. Crazy. Like, the moment I knew something was up was when they pulled Family Guy off of Netflix. Like, if you know, Family Guy was updated very well when it came to Netflix and they pulled it off. And I don't know, I just think that these things that we need to start paying attention to, because I think that in some sense it could help us branch out and do much better as far as like put it into perspective in our lives. But maybe that's just me overthinking it as usual, but I think you just got to think about it. So everybody is talking about what should morally be right. Like, we're seriously talking about abortion. And my whole thing behind this is that I think that people like to put a label on, or not a label, but identify with two different ideas and mesh them into one and call them morality or ethics. And this is everybody's experience, I was born in a Christian household, and Christians, the biggest bullies in the world, say, hey, this is wrong, and everybody's gonna abide by that, right? No shade, I'm just saying, like, this is just this is real. The Christians are saying, hey, it's wrong, and everybody else is pushing back and saying, hey, y'all are wrong. And there's a small percentage that is like, who gives a fuck, And that's what I want to put myself in, because it really doesn't matter, right? And when I'm looking at Alabama and Georgia, you would think that, oh, if you voted for Stacey Abrams, that Georgia won't be in this position, right? I don't know. I just don't understand why it matters. There's a case in Ohio. I believe it's Ohio. And, the one thing that strikes out right now is that, when it comes to incest and rape, that there's no leeway on those rules in particular. And that's the thing here, is that who is out there and really, really wants to be evil? Like, this doesn't even sound right. It does not sound right. And I don't know if it's just men, just in general, that we can't be this stupid. We cannot be this stupid. And this is the thing, is that we let this happen. We really did let this happen. Like, I know it's probably the wrong thing to try and blame yourself for this, but this is it. Like, they built the system and they're working the system. Now, the question is, what is right? What should be right? If America is going to go off of we believe that the people make the rules, then let the people make the rules. The crazy thing about it is that the whole justification behind this is that they care about people, that people are going to be the future of this world, and that they care about the future of this world, not even this world, but this country, and that people are going to lead this country, and it's not fair to them. And this is my thing about opening up Pandora's boxes, because this is what it is that we want to care so much about so many things, is that what they have done is that they've magnified what they care about and made people sensitive to those things. And that's all it is, right? It's hardcore Republicans who are super deep into Christianity. This is it. Like, they're winning right now. But to say that you care about people and that it's for the future of this country, don't say that. Because if we're really going to sit here and be naive about caring for the lives of people, then there would be such thing as equality. The oppressor won't always have to keep pressing. And that's the thing here, is that the oppressor keeps pressing. And the oppressor is going to keep pressing until those that are being oppressed, they're going to have enough. And I think that's where we're turning right now, you know? Like, I think that even with the election of Trump, that was a form of the people fighting back. I'm not saying that I'm a Trump supporter, I'm just saying. But anyways, it's very weird what is going on as far as politics right now. We'll just see what happens, you know? They are trying to ride with this thing going forward into a federal thing, not just states. And we'll see how pissed off people are to the point where they want to push back. You know, I feel like if you have a plan, I need you to think of that plan very well, because the way people are going and how everybody is on social media and they care about it, but there's nothing being done, right? Like, there's no change whatsoever. But I don't know. I really don't, because I just feel like as much talking as we're doing about changing the world and making the world a better place, there would be more action. Like Flint, it's just getting what they need. It's crazy. But that's just to say, if we can do something about this abortion, not interfering with people's lives and acting as if we care about those lives, that's what I'm talking about. Like, leave abortion to a confidential thing. And if you really want to get down to the cold hard facts about why they're doing this, is that they're defunding Medicaid. Like, that's all they're doing. They're trying to defund all these different healthcare agencies that are a part of the government. And it just makes sense. I think you should look into that.
Say, man, if you really like the show, and I assume that you like it because you're still listening to the show, but if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, please, you know, write us a review. You know, it helps people find the show, for one, and it also gives people an idea of what's going on in the show without actually listening. So, you know, it attracts other people. And I'm just asking, you know, if you don't want to, it's cool. If you do, God bless you. Now back to the show.
I think it's safe to say that it's dream season. Presidential election is coming up, right? And the Republicans are dead set that they are going with Trump. Impeached or not. That's the crazy part, is that the Republicans have done so much and they rode behind Trump, even though they publicly come out and they say, hey, we really don't care about this dude. We just want to stay in office. I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. Upon people getting fired and people quitting, you know, we see these things happening. And it's kind of like, are we living in some type of Twilight Zone? Because these things are actually happening. But, you know, that's just to say that we're here for a reason. That everything that's happening and everything that's transpiring in office is for a reason. And maybe this is a meltdown, or maybe this is a pickup. Like, I don't know what it is. Because it seems like things are getting better, but it also seems like we're taking 10 steps back. And that's the thing here, you know. We got 24 Democratic candidates. 24, 23, it don't matter. Same thing. I don't know. It's one of those. And they're all running. And this is my thing. I just feel like the Democratic Party as a whole is that there's no plan here. Is that, yo, let's just throw something out there and see what sticks. And, you know, we're talking about universal basic income. We're talking about equality. We're talking about reform. We're talking about all these different things. And you know, one thing in particular that everybody is talking about, reparations. They really want to sell us on giving reparations to black folk. And I'm all for it. You know, it took me a long time to figure out what the fuck can they do? Because I don't ever think that giving money is ever going to be the option. I just don't think so. I don't think it's wise. Even though they might throw money at you, because the black dollar apparently is much more. It's worth a lot. So that you would think that they'll just throw money. And I personally don't think that that's wise. And I was thinking about it. How can they really help the situation? Because that's all people are talking about now. Reparations for Black people to succeed in life, I think that's what we need to talk about, is that, all right, I'm going to give you an extra boost so that you can catch up, you know? And that's one thing, being systematic, setting up a system so that you can lead the future into a better place. I don't know. I think that's just me thinking about those things, is that create a system, make people understand financial literacy, free college for African Americans, for those that qualify, or whatever you want to say about it, or however you want to word it. But let that be a start, you know? I think through teaching and dedicating to teaching is the key. And this is my thing, because everybody says that Barack Obama didn't do shit for Black people or anything. And I only understand his position because I felt like everything that he wanted to do, he was getting pushback when it came down to the African American community. So rewording things, and that's the thing that I've learned about, you know, whether it's sports contracts or just overall reading things on the internet, is that language is important. How things are worded are so important. There was allocated money directly for minorities, and let's just say minorities because it applies to those who are stricken in poverty, you know, dedicated money for people like African Americans, Latinos, like those people, like everybody else except white. And that's cool, because now there's grants, free money to start your own business. And I don't know if they've discontinued or defunded that program, but it was there. And that's just a prime example of something that somebody put out or tried to change to help, you know, because that's all we're really asking for is help. But it seems like a lot of people are distracted, you know. Marketing plays this big factor into that, and social media getting your attention. But here we are. Joe Biden is running for president. I just feel like it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea because what does Joe Biden stand by? Or what does he stand for? You know, Obama was hope. Yes, we can. But what about Joe Biden? And that's the thing, like, because it actually took me a while to try and figure out why, because something just didn't sit right. Just always hearing it. And to me, it's like, you're a number 2. That meant that you weren't good enough to be a good number 1. And that's the thing, like, they really brought Joe Biden on because he was a face that everybody was familiar with and that he suited well with the white demographic. Look it up. And I feel like the Democrats are really pushing for Joe Biden. Like, this is it. And a lot of people are going to pick Joe Biden because of name recognition. That's usually what people push for in life, is that they go for what's familiar. Not that many people take a leap of faith. Go figure. But that's my thing here, is that Joe Biden doesn't apply to this generation. He doesn't stick well with this generation. Obama was young and hip to everything that was going on, which was a good thing. It benefited in his play. Like, he really embodied this generation. But I don't know. The other person that's in question is Bernie Sanders. I really feel like he needs to give it up. You know, I think that he always tries to pull his, oh, I was cool with Dr. King on every little thing or every opportunity that he gets. And, you know, it just gets old, right? The person that really stuck out to me right now that I actually said, who gives a fuck? Because I was just like, she's boring, you know? Elizabeth Warren. The fact that she's able to connect, like, she's Hillary, but in a lesser form, less aggressive. But it seems like she can get aggressive when she really wants to. It's just that nobody really gives a fuck when she's talking. But she's having these answers. And this is my thing about presidency, is that if you have an answer for something, if you can fix something that is really, really wrong in the society and that could help out in the next generation, why not? Like, you see a problem and you want to fix it. These problems, if they get out of hand, then that's it. Like, we see another recession coming through and you're trying to stop something. And here she comes talking about student debt relief, bailing everybody else out. That's cool. That's really cool. Talking about abortion rights, just things that it generally just it matters to the growth of this country. But she's really resonating with me, and I like her. We'll see what happens though, because it's getting to that point where we're seeing stuff, and hopefully when the numbers they get slashed between all the Democrats, that things are just going to go well. I've been really happy about the things that have been going on in my life currently. And I like that I see a lot of growth in the things that I have chosen to put my energy towards. And just from the standpoint of making my own decisions and feeling the way I'm feeling. And one thing really, really just came to my attention is just trying to figure out my strengths. Like, I've overcome a lot, and I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this that you've probably overcome a lot as well. And I was just thinking about it because we all have a journey, and this is my thing. You just have to try and capitalize on that journey as much as possible. I wonder now about what my parents were going through. And that's my thing, is that when you understand that things get passed down, not things, but genes and traits that your parents may have, or your great grandparents or your great great grandparents may have possessed, that it all gets passed down. And essentially, you're creating a stronger version of your bloodline, right? That's why we have Genghis Khans, we have the Mongolians, we have the Vikings. Like, that's what they did. They passed down a strong lineage. And to think that, what are some things that I have seen my parents embody that I noticed that I have embodied? Essentially, what have you learned from your parents? And I was thinking about it because I see my parents do all these things, and it's for me to decide whether I am like this or I don't like this about my parents. And I saw that the pros outweighed the cons because of, or not because, but based off of my situation right now. And that's my thing, is what have I been able to harness as far as like from within? And I talk about picking myself up and, being a hard worker, just these different things, right? And I know there's one thing about my parents, is that they really showed me two things in life, is hard work really pays off. I watch my parents, they work so hard. And, the one thing that I appreciate about them so much is that it was little things in the household that created balance. And whether it will be my mom will work at nights and my dad will work during the daytime, and then they get to spend the evening together before my mom goes to work again. And whether it's picking us up, taking us somewhere, going on break to bring us something to school, or even just watching their model of a household, having somebody cooking and somebody washing the dishes. It's just simple things that, it's things like that it creates balance in a household. And I appreciate that about my parents. And, I noticed about that, or what that was to me, is love. And I think that love was something that was really passed down to me, because it's just certain level of appreciation when it comes to the little things. And, I really experienced how my parents showed their love towards each other, and not only towards each other, but, other people. I can tell you that there's been people that will like sleep at my parents' house, and we're all there, we're all living, trying to function. They don't ask for a dime, they just work and they pay the bills. And I see that, and I think that's what it was, is that it was love, is that something that they're teaching me. And I never thought that I would think about these type of things or encounter certain things in my life and be equipped with whatever it was that they passed down to me. But I see at the end that it's always going to be love. Like, my parents really love me. And this is not to say, oh, your parents don't love you. I hope everybody has parents that love them, because I think that's the most beautiful thing about your life, you know. And it hurts me to know that, or not even to know, but to witness firsthand how my parents are growing old. Like, I can physically see it, I can mentally see it, I can spiritually see it. And that's the crazy part about it, is that we're all just trying to figure this shit out. We are. Like, your parents are people that are just throwing stuff out there and seeing what sticks. And they learn through trial and error. You know, me and my brother, we didn't always have the best of grades, but best believe my sister got straight A's. Any type of complication that me and my brother had in basketball, best believe that my sister has the confidence to overcome. You see, it's like different things that has happened in, I can say, for my household. You know, I appreciate those things about my parents, and just those little things that I've learned to grow to appreciate. And that's what it comes down to now, is that love language. You know, how do you compliment the other? And how do you build this other person, knowing how to love them and understand how to love them? And that's one thing about just relationships, just in general, is that I think that it's so important to ask about past lovers, not people that you had a thing for, but really lovers. Like, you felt a certain way about this person, and this person made you feel a certain way. And I feel like people should try and dig deep into those type of things about people, is to A, know what to avoid, and B, find out how to love this person in a better way and to not hurt that person. I think that's the premise of relationships, being a better person, building that person up. I think it's a beautiful thing to see it happen, but to try and embody that is another thing. You know, I think about it all the time, and I'm just thinking about life and everything that I have managed to overcome. And I just think to myself, damn, like, it's really hard. And I can tell you for sure that I've been at a brick wall for a long time. And it seems like every time I keep trying to jump over that brick wall or break that brick wall down, that there's something there that's stopping me, or I managed to break a little piece, you know? And then I ask myself, if life is so hard, how would it be if it was easy, you know? And how can I help myself by not going overboard? Essentially saying, what is enough? Because we aspire to be these people that are going to change the world, or that are going to be rich, or whatever you want to do on this earth. Like, we aspire to be the best, but imagine when you get there and things go easy for you, and you continually earn and get to this point of you're constantly growing. What is enough? I was just thinking about those things, because it seems like we're all focused, and whether it's focused on the wrong things or focused on the right things, this level of balance that we're trying to put out there in the world, is it working? Are the things that you are doing right now, is it going to contribute to your future? I think about these things because, once again, I really only think about legacy. You know, I hear about these authors, and, you know, I really pay attention to authors, because it seems like they know how to get it right. Is that they've been writing books and writing books and writing books. And it's not until one hits and then they find out about the catalog. That's a beautiful thing. Legacy is important. And my question that I pose to all is that, what are you going to do to pick yourself up? Or what are you going to do to push yourself, or take yourself to the next level? Because those are the questions that I'm asking myself. And I think that it's important to try and constantly criticize and make sure that you understand that if you're at the place where you want to be, how do you keep moving and not be content? Or if you're just starting out, what can you do to possibly keep you on that road? And that's the thing, is that I think one thing that I've taken away from my absence in the world is that create a system. If there are any holes in the system, remake the system. Make modifications in life. I think that's it. But that's just to say, look, I just want better for people. I want you to see that you have the potential to do everything that you say you want to do. That's all. That's all. So I always like to end the show with words of wisdom. Keep investing in yourself. It's very important. And it doesn't have to be financially. It can just be something little as a morning routine or a nightly routine. Getting the sleep that you deserve, or changing the way that you look as far as physique, as far as health. I think those things are key players into defining your definition of success. But anyways, if you like the show, like it, share it, review it. You can do one, you can do all three. Either way, I appreciate it. Check out the website, moreaboutsomethingelse.com. But my name is Joshua, and I'm out.